Welcome back to another off-season powered by the University of the Bahamas, Go Mingoes, and 10-year Seniors podcast. We're here to bring you dynamic conversations between coaches, student athletes, and student alumni to find out what they're doing during this COVID-19 lockdown. This is a transformational show. We hope that you enjoy it. And remember, Go Mingoes.
We were the pioneers in it. So here it was, you had to go out, you had to recruit players, you had to bring players into the program. Those players had to have certain grades. They had to be going to class. They had to maintain those grades. They had to come to training. So there was a lot of fundamentals. You had kids that were coming from Grand Bahama, in some cases.
So they were coming from the Family Islands even back then?
Yeah.
What about accommodations? Did we treat them as
we had accommodations for them. I'm not going to say they were 5-star, but we did the very best we could. And wherever I could have reached out to, particularly, and the guys who know me, who would have come from those islands, would tell you that I tended to kind of help them out a little bit more because I recognized that they were away from their families. They were in need a little bit more, right? Support, structure, that kind of thing. But generally, it was always very exciting. We did trips to, whether it was to Tampa or to Orlando, where we would do 3 games.
Give us a year. Give us a time stamp. What year was this?
Come on now.
There we are. Ladies, I did it. Y'all was thinking about it. I said it. The man look young. You could learn how old he is today. Give us the year you was coaching at COB. Don't come with I can't remember. That means you over 70. You weren't there yet.
I guarantee you that I have some young players out there who can actually tell you when this stuff took place, and they're going to come up and say it. I don't know when it was.
Try.
Right?
Kim,
because I coached for a while. But like I said, it was all very unique. It was pioneer stuff because, like I said, we would fly into Orlando. Just to give you an example.
Okay.
We fly into Orlando, get there. We got 2 render vans, ready to go. Most of the time, they actually weren't ready to go.
You sound like y'all like Sean. Man.
So we eating lunch at the airport.
Right.
Jump into the van. You got a 2-hour drive to your first location.
Okay.
You're in. Okay, good. You know what, gents? We gonna have a training session. Oh, coach. No. We gonna have a training session because I need you to acclimatize.
How early this was? You had them doing the training?
No, this would have been afternoon because this was evening time. Generally, we want to train the same time that we would play.
Okay.
So hopefully, we're trying to get in there early enough that we could get to where we're going, train, do a training session, dinner.
Okay.
And then preferably bed. And that was always a challenge.
What, going to bed or dinner? Which one was the challenge? We're going to bed or dinner?
Actually, both.
Both? Wow.
Because getting the guys to eat healthy was like, man, coach, I don't eat that, coach.
Now again, you had Sean there at that time, right? So are we talking Outback experience? Are we talking, what is it, Panera bread or whatever?
I really strived as much as I could to get them to someplace that was going to be healthy. Like, generally, for athletes, we want to eat pasta. Right, but again, not pasta with cheese and sauces. So I would usually go into like an Italian place, someplace where you could what do you call it, Roma macaroni, something. And I would actually tell them what I want them to fix.
So on the record, they was going to Olive Gardens. Y'all heard first. They was going to Olive Garden on the COB budget.
It wasn't Olive Garden.
Kim, what you was doing?
It was not Olive Garden.
No, it wasn't.
And trust me, we were getting the discount rate because I said, listen, I just need you to make a big batch of pasta. This is how I want it done. Give me some salad.
So we're thinking the Carmine strategy. The Carmine's kind of strategy. Big plate serving with 4 people minimum. So he was friendly to the budget. I take it back.
Trust me. Like I said,
I almost had him, Kim.
I was good.
I
was good with the money.
But that ain't nothing wrong with that. We talk about the meal plan, but again, what you're doing as a coach, I thought Dion was the first because, I've seen recordings of Dion doing early morning trainings. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like from you lying, you want to do that training before they even go to sleep to keep them kind of focused.
Yeah, because when you travel like that, you want the players, you've been traveling pretty much all day. You're kind of luggy, you're kind of sluggish, you're kind of slow. So I want you to kind of burn some energy. I want you to get a feel for the new climate that you're in, however it may work out. So, we didn't do a lot, but it was just to kind of get us going, as well as part of the training was to see how early I could get them to bed, right? Because you're trying to get them to bed early so that they can get a good night's sleep so that they're nice and fresh for the following day.
Hey, that's wonderful. Now, this the hard part. I can test your memory. You can remember any names of players. I know we just had the alumni game, of course, but any stars or any young stars you remember seeing and being like, hey, this athlete is going to go further than this program?
Well, we've had a few players. We've had a few players that ended up doing really well. coming to mind right away would have been Julio, right,
Okay.
as a goalkeeper as well as a forward. And Julio actually went on to start for the Bahamas beach soccer team as a starting goalkeeper in the Beach Soccer World Cup. So again, Julio's kind of done quite a bit. I mean, that's just one example. There would have been Stuart Hanna would have been another young player who I also know from church as well, who was a quality player.
From soccer.
Yeah, but we had a number of good players.
Stuart went to soccer. Y'all didn't even say it. Stuart went to soccer too. I got you all soccer.
No, there were lots of players. I mean, there were a number of players, and I can think of them and see them right now. And I want to think that during our time, I was somewhat of a mentor.
Okay.
Just to most of them.
You didn't mention a name. I want to bring up this name. How was Simba? I actually thought in my tenure at the college, I thought Simba was a star player, but I don't hear Simba name coming up much in conversations and most of our soccer discussions. How was Simba's game?
Simba was a solid goalkeeper. I mean, in particularly in the earlier days, Simba was in there, and Simba would have gone on some of the trips. Simba would have battled. Let me be clear to you: the teams that we were playing when we traveled were quality teams. These were not jokey teams. Okay. There were situations where, particularly once we got further on in the trip, and the players, you'd have some injuries, you'd have some shortage, because Kimmel will tell you that she wasn't giving me 22 players to travel with. That wasn't happening.
Did she give you 10? I ain't even the field.
Like,
talk about it on the record.
15,
let us know about the fan.
15, 16, I think.
15, 16 players is all she gave him.
So basically, you're like two or three injuries away from coach.
Without Sasha.
Coach, I need you to warm up. No Sasha.
No Sasha, people.
No Sasha.
There was no Sasha.
I was Sasha. What do you mean?
There was no Sasha to save him.
Back then, I was Sasha.
He was doing athletic training.
Taller and uglier, but
he used to take care of yards. He had to take care of the people. This man running for Prime Minister 2024. Right.
Oh, no, yeah.
But I think this is a good time to ask that key question of the development of the program. So we're talking about the early ages of the program. Around this time, was there the female entity as well to soccer?
Yes, actually, interestingly enough, on the early trips, a lot of the trips were combined.
Okay.
So we would do the trips on Coach Paul. Help me.
I can't help you.
Okay, Coach Paul. Anyway, Coach Paul.
Coach Paul.
Coach Paul would have been, and Van Dyke would have been.
Oh yeah,
working,
Van Dyke for
right,
sure.
Would have
I know
been working
Van
with the ladies.
I know.
And back and then I think it would have been myself and Gavin Christie who would have been working with the men's team.
Okay.
And again, those combined trips, they had another element of challenge as well.
Can you talk about that? Because we're in an era where...
I can't.
There it is, man. Shut me down. Anyway, like I was saying, right? We are in an era, ladies and gentlemen, where, of course, I have the distinct pleasure of having university freshmen always ask me, why don't we have a female soccer team? I look at them.
We did. And to be honest with you, some of the players on our team were quite quality players. And I'm going to put in a plug here. Because I understand that the young lady who was in the accident is Shakira's sister, who would have played. Shakira would have played for UB, and I think she still plays for the Bahamas beach soccer team. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. But again, and I convinced. Well, I didn't convince, but my wife and I, we made a donation through the GoFundMe, and we're praying and hoping for the very, very best for her sister. So we want to say that right up front. But no, the women's program had some quality players, had some really good players that came through that system. I think part of the issue was that the women's league in the Bahamas wasn't where it needed to be. So
I'll be coming back to the same problem we have in every sporting arena, that of course the interest and the crowds don't come as much to female basketball, female soccer, and other female sports as males. Is that just the recurring issue?
Yeah, we can say that, but the issue for me then becomes, well, why do we get such a large population at women's softball? Why do we get so many people coming out to watch women's softball?
That's a good question.
Right? And again, I believe it's the level of competition, it's the standard that's been set, right? And you go out to a women's softball game, it's a quality competition, right? And I mean, generally that's what you're looking for. You're looking to see some quality competition. And I think it all stems from us or the teams putting in the work.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I have another question, of course, tailored to your history. So, of course, you would have contributed tremendously to the development of the program. But I'm asking as a coach now, looking at the players that we have, how would you rate the standard of players compared to what you had with the Julios, of course, who have their legacies? Julio, although he's on the injured list, nobody can ever say Julio didn't develop the program at the University of the Bahamas. Either Julio or Stott, interchangeably, they've done what they had to do. But now we have a regime of athletes who, I can be honest, even as a brand coordinator, I don't see that Julio, you know what I mean? Or I don't see a Stott right now that screams at me.
Right.
And it wasn't clear to me until, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to post it after this recording so everybody can see it, until I watched the alumni blue versus white game, and I watched an alumni team that did not practice defeat a team that practiced all the time. So what I mean, if you could see anybody, maybe you could shout them out, let us know who's a rising star, but what do you think has changed in the hearts of the soccer players in the Bahamas?
Interestingly enough, I don't think it's just the soccer players in the Bahamas. I think it's sports in general in the Bahamas. What I don't see that I know we had back in the day, and players who would have played with me or around my time would tell you that we had a level of commitment.
Ooh.
There was a serious level of commitment as far as developing yourself in whatever sport you played, and putting so that we always played or trained in such a way that we never had to have regrets later. Right? And I look at players now, and I don't see the preparation. Right? And when I say the preparation, physically, as as a player, technically, as a player, from a strategy standpoint, I don't see it anymore. And it's not. Let me be clear. It's not unique to soccer. Mm-hmm. Right? I go to the gym, and I watch teams playing, and I see fat guys playing basketball. I'm like, fat people don't play basketball. I don't care what anyone says. Not at you understand what I'm saying? Not
right.
at that level.
Right.
I interestingly enough played night league basketball.
Okay.
And when I played night league, there was no fat people playing basketball. I don't care what anybody said.
Wow.
There were some big guys, but everybody was fit. And I mean, literally, you'd go out on Cabbage Beach or whatever, and you'd run sand, and you'd run by the guy who you're going to play against.
Wow.
2 days later.
So the level of competition, it sounds like discipline.
Oh yeah.
It's not the same as it was back then.
It's
but they have
I
better opportunities now.
Oh yeah, undoubtedly.
Wow.
Right. You take for example, the young guy that's now playing with the Marlins, right? Jazz Chisholm. Mm. And everyone that I've heard has said the same thing about Jazz. Oh, really
Continue. I see a comment on the screen. I just want to
really cocky player. Really full of himself. This, that, and the next.
Somebody, Coach Aubrey is saying, watch him out. He say, watch him out. When you talk about fat players, Coach Aubrey say, watch him out. I got you, Shane. I got you.
No, I understand. Different sports will allow for different things.
Right.
And in softball, you're a little bigger. Okay, so you go to first base. It's not a big deal, right? But if you could hit like Soda, buddy, you're gonna be in the lineup. That's just the way it is.
All right.
Okay, if you hit like Soda, you're gonna be in the lineup. But my point though is that realistically, I just want to see more from our young people from a commitment standpoint. Okay. And again, I go back to Jazz, and that's what I was saying before I lost my train of thought. Okay. And Buddy Hield, both. I've heard the same thing about both. They're very full of themselves. But you know what? Let me be honest with you. To be a professional athlete, if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Because being a professional athlete, somebody said this to me, you become a professional long before you ever get the first check. You become a professional in your head a long time before you ever get paid the first dollar. So the fact that he's cocky and all that kind of thing, yeah, okay, fine. But he's in the show. Mm-hmm. He's in the show. Paid. And he's starting in the show, and he's getting paid.
That's real.
Proof is in the pudding.
So we have a critique of the need for discipline in this generation and
commitment.
And commitment. So as a coach, I'm gonna now ask about your coaching style. What was it that you feel was necessary back then to get the program started up? Because you're talking about athletes who didn't have these benefits today of the 2 meals. They didn't have as much availability to financing as they currently have. Right. They were not rehabilitated as fast. They didn't have their sashes. Right. So you're talking about encouraging young athletes to be a part of something before they can even see how it benefits them. What was your strategy back then when you were recruiting for the university? I mean, well, the college back then.
Well, I think when I was the coach there, my goal was basically, and this is what I said to the players. I said basically, with the opportunities that you're going to be presented at UB, you should go UB, national team, professional.
Whoa.
In that order. Okay. If your commitment level is where it needs to be, right? And again, I go back and I say to we've had players in the program that were there because I've had other coaches who called me up to get to find out about a player who had played for me and had then moved on to play in university, and he wanted to know what kind of player that player was, right? And for everybody who knows me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell them the truth. If you were a player who trained hard and worked hard and put in the effort, then I'm gonna tell them that. If you were a player that was less than, I'm gonna tell them that too.
Wow.
Right? Because at the end of the day,
that's honest.
I have to be. It's important that I'm honest, because if I'm not honest about that one and it doesn't work out for the coach, the next one when he calls me, I don't have any credibility.
So on the topic of recommendations, in this time, of course, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, I do social media management for the athletics program, and it hurts me to see so much young people honestly being fools. They have talent, they have some of the determination. I don't want to pick on anybody or say names. And then you see them post on social media, they at a party, drinking. And I as the person who has to watch it, I cry, because it's like, you're getting a whole scholarship. You're getting these benefits that were not in your time, of course, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting a chance to represent something that's bigger than yourself, and you just think it's fine to post on social media. So did you have that problem back when you were coaching, of the social media era of posting and showing where you're at and showing off whatever it is on your pages?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't that far back. I mean, so obviously, yes, it did take place. My thing to my players was always the same thing, and it was that you don't ever want to put yourself into a situation where you're going to compromise yourself, your parents, or the university. So I always tried as much as I could to preach that to them, right? Try to always find yourself in a situation.
I want to mix that in with the Buddy Hill discipline, though.
Yeah.
One thing, I have spent a summer with Buddy. Cannot remember one time drinking with Buddy. It was like it was that much important to him that I can't ruin where I'm at in my career. Why don't we have that same level of commitment with our players? Like, why don't they see that your imagery, the way how you behave, has to be at a certain caliber if you want to advance? But I'm picking your brain with this one.
I think a part of it is that we, unfortunately, and when I say we, I'm talking about our young athletes. They are not seeing enough reflections of what they can be.
Oh,
right. We have the Sean A's, and we have Stephen Gardner, and we have when I'm just coming right off the top, you got Jazz, obviously. You have Buddy, right? But I don't think we're seeing enough of it. I think that if there was more examples for them to follow, and we created more opportunities, but so many of the sporting programs now, particularly at the youth level, are really coaches living vicariously, coaches who may not have been that good when they played, living vicariously through their players.
Whoa, that's heavy.
And wanting to win when they should be focusing on developing players. And the reason I can say that is because I've also coached at the national level, where I got players who come to the program and they can't use their left foot, or they can't head the ball. And I'm like, but buddy, you've been in the program now for 10 years.
You played perfectly into it. So good segue. As a coach, we have a young lady, a young man listening to the show, and they're looking to get recruited into a collegiate soccer program. What are those things during COVID-19 that they can work on that's going to put them at that level to even get recruited?
I mean, the thing is at this stage of the game, obviously you're going to spend a lot of time on your own, right? Because of COVID. But you can also spend a lot of time if you can get somebody else. I was actually impressed on one of the days that we got to go to the beach last week, before 12.
Look at them on record, ladies and gentlemen. Timestamp. I was there before 12. It was within the law.
There were these three young guys.
Okay.
And they were on the beach, and they were barefoot, but they had their ball, and they were socially distanced. They were 6 feet apart, and they were doing a little workout drill. And I was quite impressed by that. I was quite impressed that they were that committed.
Were they our players?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
All right, we need to get their names. I like them. I like them. You're coming to Mingoes. I say you're coming. You're coming to the program.
But again, that is what, for me, you don't allow things to prevent you from doing what you want to do. Right? You got to keep your eye on the prize. You got to stay focused on where it is you're going. Right? And the difficulty, and part of the reason why I don't feel as though I am pertinent anymore as a coach, is because I don't think that I can reach the young men anymore.
Ooh.
So
that's heavy. That's real. That's real.
Yeah,
but it's
true.
Heavy.
It's true. I mean, and when you're no longer able to reach them, then it's time to step back.
Hey, I only doing branding, and I do that now, bro. I am not TikToking.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not on TikTok because this guy is not doing this. I'm not doing that. No. But my final thing is a little fun, and I'm gonna test your fanhood before we. Ladies and gentlemen, drop your questions. I'll be coming closer to the screen to read your questions aloud so we can get some answers for you. But I want to see who comes to mind. I'm gonna ask you just to shout out a student name, just one student name when I call the sport. Based on
here we go.
Yeah, that's it. You ready? I can start off hard. UB Golf.
Boy, you went hard.
They going hard.
You
Straight
went
off the
real
bat. We have a golf program. Who you can think of? You only got what 5 to pick out.
Yeah.
If you can't, just say pass.
Tiger 10? I don't know.
Tiger 10. UB Athletics. Tiger 10. We're coming home. All right, let's go. UB volleyball. Who you can think of? Who really?
Come on, help me.
Females.
Yeah.
Females.
So I shouldn't really know names of because let me be honest.
You could describe them. If you can't remember a name, you could describe them.
Bright, very thick build.
Short hair or long hair? Bright blonde hair?
Bright
You're
skin.
talking about Livy. He gets Livy.
Yeah.
These are fine. He know how they look. That's
Okay,
count. That
okay.
count.
All right.
All right, you got Livy. All right, UB basketball.
Got to be Sylvester.
UB judo. That's it. See, you can't give you too easy and
Yo.
You
I
gotta
know
go
who's
hard.
coming. I don't know. David Carradine? I don't know.
Where these names coming from? All right, UB men's soccer.
UB men's soccer.
Men's soccer. But you can't state Julio. Julio is eliminated.
Okay. Right now, I would have to say Denzel. I think Denzel
Denzel is still on the team, yes.
Yeah,
Denzel been there from Julio time, though.
Yeah, Denzel's been there. Denzel was there, left, and then came back.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Denzel, you got to graduate. You got to graduate, man.
Yeah. No, I don't mean it like that. I mean, Denzel actually left UB and then came back.
if he wasn't here, you wouldn't have known nobody else. That's how I feel.
No, I don't. I actually don't know the rest of the team. Having said that, though, 2 years ago, UB won the league.
Yeah, we did.
Hey,
Come on.
like I say, that's coming from last to first.
Yeah.
Let me be clear, because when we were in the league, we were a lot closer to last than we were to first.
Once you admit it, I didn't want to get
No,
there.
I
I
can
was
be
trying to
honest.
avoid that topic.
Oh, one thing about me now.
When it comes to men's basketball and men's soccer, I avoid talking about when they won back in the day because you don't set yourself up for failure. But all right, what else we got? We got female softball.
The lefty. What's the name?
The lefty.
Come on.
Now you get me.
Speedy, fast.
Jody Clark. Jody Clark.
Yeah.
Jody's the lefty?
Yeah, but she boss lefty anyway.
Oh, I think she might be Amber. Sheehan, confirm if Jody's a lefty. Thank you.
I think she boss lefty. I know that much.
All right.
I think she is lefty though.
And then we go into the final area, which is track and field. So men track and field. Who comes to mind? The greatness that is in your hand. I don't know who that is. There's a lot of players.
Man, the guy.
What do you do?
The guy that was supposed to go to the guy that was going to go to
the Worlds.
The Worlds.
There's 2 of them. You got to describe it. One short, one tall. Which one are you talking about?
Both. If they were going to Worlds.
All right. So we got Ken and Kendrick. I'll give you that. Ken and Kendrick going to Worlds. If you know that fact, I know you're a real fan. And then what about?
I think I actually worked out. I think I used to work out with one of them. I work out at the same time as one of them in the gym.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, at UB gym?
At UB gym, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sound like Ken.
He used to put in some low work. He used to do some work.
Sound like Ken.
Yeah.
Definitely sound like Ken. Or Kendrick. I don't know. Kendrick and Andres now, so we don't know. He lifting fish. And then female track and field. Female and cross country. Sorry, Coach Edmund. And cross country, because it's female track field and cross country.
I don't think I have any idea.
If not even how they look.
I'm way.
All right, that's cool. Well, we know which sports you have to get into. We have to send you on a trip. I know it's my dream, hopefully, to have a program where we could reward our alumni and fellow coaches with that opportunity to go on a trip with the teams after COVID, of course. But I think this is a good show. Thank you so much. We're not ended, though. We're going to get to the question. I got to go closer to the screen. They working me. So y'all looking more at him. Y'all looking way, it's humid over there, y'all. The trees got oxygen. All right. Oh, and Jody is a soccer player. You say it was Jody you was talking about. And she is a lefty. You was right.
Lefty, yeah.
I see him. That's points off for Ren. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting for your questions. We're now taking questions. And also, you mentioned she's a soccer player. Of course, Jody was a part of the first female beach soccer team as well.
Okay, but Jody's just an athlete too.
Yeah, I heard Sia Walker there. She was track and field. She was all over the place.
Jody and she'll figure it out.
So I came closer, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting for your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I see Coach Shane in. I see Sean. I see Sean in. Let me move that. It's a lot of people in. There's too much people to list. So all y'all, thank you. I got tired. It's too. You saw me missing scroll. You saw I do that. And I saw all them people. I was like, boy, that ain't happening. But we can end it up with a bang. Of course, we had our 2-minute time if you have any questions. But anything you want to say as we wait for the questions? Anything you want to probably talk about that I may not have asked? What is it? Aside from, she also is I don't know. That was Kim comment.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Kim here too, so shout out to the athletic director. Thank you. But any words of wisdom for any athletes in the program? I mean, you talked about what's missing in this generation, but anything you probably could tell them that could probably help them get on the right path if they're not there already?
I think the biggest thing for the athletes is to understand what your role is. Especially during this COVID-19 time, which has been a short time, plenty of reflection. I think the key for our athletes is that they have to understand the concept of student athlete.
Okay.
So whatever program it is, make sure you get that degree. Make sure you let your athletics work for you to pay that bill. That's number one. Number two, when I look at what goes into the UB athletics program now, right? Because trust me, we didn't have anybody like you around. We didn't have anybody like Sasha around. We didn't have anybody like
Chris and
okay,
Henfield.
So none of that was going on. So
right.
What I'm also saying to the athletes is, this program is growing and developing. Take advantage of it. Don't let it get by you. Take advantage of the situation that you have. The situation at UB is I'm not going to say it's at the level of a professional team, but I don't see a lot of teams around here that are at that level. So take advantage of it, make it work for you, and see how far you can go. The reality is that your athletic career, as far as your life goes, is very short. People don't really realize that, but your athletic career is very short compared to the rest of your life. Grab it with both hands, take advantage of it, and do all that you can with it. And that's coming from a guy who's still trying to stretch his athletic career at 56.
Still shaking and baking.
Still trying.
Still got the ref. Hey, ref, come here. Hey, slow the game down, man. Y'all see me running. Stop, man.
Slow it down.
We have a question. So, aside from commitment, what else is needed for the soccer program to go to the next level? So they're saying, aside from, I guess, commitment and discipline, what else do you think is needed for it to get to that next level?
I one of the things that I would like to see players develop a little better is an understanding of strategy, formations, how we want to play as a team, what we want to do, what you're going to do in different situations. We call it the ABCs of the game. So obviously there's the physical side of the game, there's the technical side of the game, and then there's the intelligence side of the game, right? And I've always said to my players, I said, be smart. I said, if we're leading 1-0 or 2-0, we don't need another goal to win, okay? So we're not going to throw it all forward. Let's be smart about how we play. You understand me? And that is one of the areas that, for me, I look at our adult players, and in other countries, 8, 9-year-olds, they understand the whole concept. They understand what it is to they call it sweat out a win. In other words, it may not be pretty, but we brought it home, right? The Clippers.
So
the
it'll be
Clippers probably
more.
could learn
It'll be
something out
more
of that.
about ball movement and defense.
Well, it depends on the situation, right? And because soccer is such a fluid game, coaches are not allowed. Like in basketball, we can talk about it. You don't have that option in soccer, so you need your players to be more intelligent, right? And I would like players. It was always interesting to me when I coached, and I'd ask players. I'd say, "How many of you guys watch the game on TV?" And 3 guys would put their hand up, and I go, "Well, how can you play a sport but not watch it?"
Yeah.
Because for me, if I'm playing the sport, I'm completely immersed. That sport is my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally right. I can say honestly, when I came into this program working for athletics, I was not a soccer fan, but now that I have the live stream and watch it, thanks shout out to our partners, 10-year senior, thanks to John as well. If you don't learn the game, you don't know what shots to go for. Like I don't know if you saw the recording of the game when it's white versus blue, but it's like you actually can anticipate when somebody about to score based on the setup.
Yeah.
So you know to zoom in and get the angles. And again, we had the opportunity to film alongside them for national games and learn those kind of calibers.
Right.
And I think what you're talking about of watching it, not just for fandom, not just following LeBron.
Yeah.
To
you
a
can
team.
see it. You can see. When you understand the sport well enough, you can see it happen before it happens. Basically.
So would it be easy to say if you play, I guess basketball does this, shout out to Chris and Barkis, of course. If you play the game they just played, back to them for that 2-hour run, and you just watching the room to see who paying attention to the game and watching versus the ones who sleeping, could you be like, okay, you ain't serious, you ain't serious? Is that a fair assessment?
You get an understanding. I've been in a film room watching an international soccer game with the national team for 4 hours. We've watched the game for 4 hours.
Any of those players exemplified some of those things, like just falling asleep or sucking their teeth?
Not really.
Or was everybody just zoned in?
Not really, because what we were able to do is we were able to do it at a time that was ideal for the players as far as them being awake.
Okay.
Right, as well as we did it with a team that I think was a little bit unique. That was actually the team that eventually beat Jamaica.
Okay.
In the under-23 Olympic qualifiers. So it was quite impressive, actually.
Wow.
Right,
Well, I think that's a huge step. We definitely got to look for it. Coach Raymond, shout outs to Coach Raymond Wilson. He signed in as well. And I feel like one of the things he mentioned before in his recording was the fact that, volleyball assessment was done so different in Cuba. They did the 800, the 400, the high jump. They did track and field stuff.
Right.
And then they put it all in the chart. And then they chose the best player because that's how they chose the best athlete. And I felt learning from his episode and now your assessment of, hey, do you even watch the game?
Yeah.
I think that when you look at the hardcore athletes that we have, people like Ken, who nerds. Ken is a nerd when it comes to his area. Ken could tell you who leading in the world right now, what they doing. He's friends with them or he hitting them. And I was like, dude, you ain't just out of the decathlon. You was a nerd. It's a track and field nerd.
But you gotta be. The reality is that when you are committed to something, then that's what it is. I mean, I can remember having a girlfriend when I was 16, 17, and one time she asked me. She said, "I think you like soccer more than me." And then there was like a silence in the cricket.
Yeah, I remember the silence for you. We got 3 questions. They flying in. Questions flying in. We got 3 questions. Sorry about that. I went quiet for you just now. That was what? You think I like sports more than you, girl? Get out of here. Many athletes are not studying the craft. Studying the game include your competition. While watching opponents, study strengths and weakness. That's a comment by Coach Sheen Aubrey. Good comment. Given the popularity of sand soccer or beach soccer, can grass players benefit from it? Do you think it is a good idea for a player to do both? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Speak
Particularly because here we don't get enough sports. We don't play enough. And I think particularly for younger players, it helps with the development, their physical development. But what beach soccer does for you is beach soccer develops some touch that is absolutely out of this world. Right? I mean, in the period that
Ball never touched the sun. It's bouncing from person to person.
Exactly. And in order to do that, trust me, you have to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So it as well as the strength factor, they've done studies on it and they found that it also reduces your injuries.
Ooh.
By the beach, because obviously you're strengthening your tendons and your ligaments and all this stuff. So,
wow, that's good, man. Good insight. Another question, rather than watching the game for fun, study and learn. Oh, that's a comment. Study and learn your opponents.
Undoubtedly.
Great comment.
Yeah.
So I like the relationship between beach soccer and, of course, shout outs to once again Julio and Michael, who hosted a team. They coached the team in beach soccer in our national league, and they won. So even knowing that they were playing for our team, but found time to still hone their skills in beach soccer was good. And of course, Michael became historically the first ever beach soccer goalie to score.
Right.
You know, so I think maybe one day UB has a soccer team.
Yeah, I mean, beach soccer is growing in leaps and bounds. I mean, there's no way that I don't think, as well as we have one of only 2 stadiums in the world. Mm-hmm. So, and this is a top quality stadium. To
hey, after COVID, anything is possible. So I don't see any more questions. So I wanna ask you kindly if you have any final remarks before we close the episode for the day. But thank you again for your time, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful backyard. Like, if I wasn't already living out west and used to mosquitoes, I wouldn't be here. But because I am, this is a beautiful backyard. I talk about the mosquitoes as land suck. You better look up and say, "But you straight? You want some?" Like they anyway. But any final comments on the episode before we end?
From me?
Yeah.
I have only 2 things to say. I mean, basically, I only have 2 words, really. Go Mingoes.
I like this man. I like him. Kim, hire him again. We need him. Oh, you like to change the scenery, eh? Boy, got me out. You see I unbutton this, y'all? It is humid. It is humid. See no game. The dog come and lick me to cool me down. It is humid, y'all. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Go Mingoes. The man know what to say. Boy, we need to bring you on. Oh, stay tuned from the sidelines with Coach Barker's role and Chris Saunders. We are recording that now. I now know who I need to tell Barkers to bring on the episode. So you need to get your suit ready. But y'all, it going down in Baintown. Well, across from Baintown.
COVID-19, no suits.
Everything
is outdoors and 6 feet apart, so there's no suits.
Setting up the office right now. From you coming, you getting spray. Nobody touching each other. We got the equipment from all over property.
Okay.
So when you see the setup, you'll be like, we look like ESPN. That's how we can on.
Right.
From the sideline, ladies and gentlemen, tune in. Of course, come into our podcast. We're now on SoundCloud. You can also find more of our content on 10th Year Senior, of course, on our Facebook, Instagram page. Follow, this is a new one. I ain't never talk about this one. Follow Director Kimberly Road. Follow that account. Because that's the woman. All the questions y'all want to get asked, follow her. Message her in the morning. Thank you. Y'all have a good day. All right. All right, we good?
We out?
Yeah, we out. There you go, man. Good show. I got to do this for Jenny, too. I said, Jenny, you coming to Instagram? She said, boy, don't mess with me. I said, send it up. Jenny. Thank you for tuning in today to another off season. We want to encourage you to go to our social media pages and, of course, our YouTube page and subscribe if you want to see some of the live dialogue that happened in the past and, of course, today's episode. Thank you again and enjoy your day. Go Mingoes.